Are you ready? I am the Pokemon League champion, and you know what that means? I'm the best Pokemon trainer of them all! So you better hold your ground, because this is the fight of your life. Are you ready? Because I am. Show me what you got. Let's go! The fuck? What is going on, guys? This is Dobbs here, bringing you another Pokemon video. And in this video, I'm going to go over my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time. And this is a video that I've been very excited to make, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I sure enjoy making these videos. And just a little quick update, the next timeline video is coming out soon. It's going to be my next video I'm going to work on. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a series where I'm going to go over the complete history of the Pokemon world. So if you want to check that out, here's the first video, the beginning with Arceus, where how he created the Pokemon world. So enough of that, let's get started with this video. For number 10, I chose Dragalge. This was my most sought after Pokemon in Pokemon X and Y. As soon as I heard there was a Dragon Poison type Pokemon, I was like, that's it, I'm getting it. There's no way I'm not getting that Pokemon. Because Poison is my favorite Pokemon type. And guess what my second favorite is? It's Dragon. So a Dragon Poison type Pokemon was just the perfect match for me. And I respect this Pokemon a lot because trying to find Skrelp was a very hard task. It took me at least an hour just to find it, and then it took like 10 Pokeballs to catch it. So it's a very respectable Pokemon. And that is why he is number 10 on my list. For number 9, I chose Haircross. Haircross is such a beast. There's so many things I like about him. I love his typing. Being a bug fighting type is just a badass combination. I love his color. Being one of the few pure blue Pokemon. He's a Generation 2 Pokemon, which is my favorite generation of all time. And I love how he's portrayed in the anime. He's a very friendly bug Pokemon, but if he needs to defend someone or fight another Pokemon, he has a very aggressive side. And I also love how he looks in the anime. He has a very shiny coat with a very darkish blue, which makes him look even more awesome. And probably the best reason of them all, he can learn Close Combat and Mega Horn, two very powerful moves from each type. And for those reasons, I chose Haircross for number 9. For number 8, I chose Steelix. Imagine yourself 6 or 7 years old, a brand new Pokemon type just came out, you just got the Asian Fly and you're on your way to your 6th gym. And the first Pokemon you see? A freaking Steelix. This was an epic Pokemon to see for the first time. Just a giant metal Pokemon looking down at you with its huge jaws. I could definitely see Steelix being in the top 10 best designed Pokemon of all time, but I'll leave that for a different video. But what made me love Steelix even more was its Mega Evolution. I'm saying it now. Mega Steelix is my favorite Mega Evolution of all time. And for those reasons, I chose Steelix for number 8. For number 7, I chose Espeon. Now, what's a top 10 favorite list without your favorite Eevee evolution? This was a very hard decision between Vaporeon and Espeon, but Espeon won by a tad bit. I just love the simplicity of the design, and on top of that, I just love Espeon's character. If you watch the anime, Espeon has always been like the parent type Eevee. He's always looking over everybody else, and with his psychic abilities, he's able to protect his comrades very easily. I've always seen all the Eevees with different character, like Sylveon being the playful one, Jolteon being the tough one, Vaporeon being the motherly one, and just so on. And just seeing Espeon being the one who looks over everybody else just makes me like Espeon even more. So that's why I chose Espeon for number 7. For number 6, I chose Weezing. And you're probably thinking to yourself, what the heck? Why are you choosing Weezing as one of your favorite Pokemon? Well, there's a story behind Weezing. When I was really young, there was this game called Pokemon Puzzle League for the Nintendo 64. And I used to play it with my sister all the time. And if you play Team Rocket, they have a Weezing. And it makes the funniest noise when it gets a chain.
You're wasting my time.
My sister used to imitate that noise all the time just to make me laugh, and it was really funny. So ever since then, I just love Weezing. And I also think Weezing has a lot of potential for having a great Mega Evolution, becoming a Fire Poison Pokemon with Levitate, so that 4 times ground weakness will have no effect. Now I think that would just be awesome. And for those reasons, I chose Weezing for number 6. For number 5, I chose Zapdos. So So I wanted to include a legendary for this list, but I only wanted to choose one. It came down to Lugia, Suicune, or Zapdos. But I had to choose Zapdos because that was originally my favorite Pokemon of all time. Speaking of legendary Pokemon, I just think the legendary Pokemon nowadays are losing their value. It seems that in each game, there's more and more legendary Pokemon. Like in Pokemon Red and Blue, there was 5 legendary Pokemon, and that was it. But then in like Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, there were 13 legendary Pokemon. That is more than double than the original games. I feel like legendary Pokemon should be scarce. There shouldn't be that many, and that's the reason why they're legendary. So you develop a strong attachment to the Pokemon games with few legendary Pokemon. And that is why Zapdos is my favorite legendary Pokemon of all time. For number 4, I chose Braxton. Now I didn't want to include a starter Pokemon in this list because that's really cliche. Like of course, Charizard is one of my favorite Pokemon, but I didn't want to include it into this list because it wouldn't be unique at all. But I feel like the secondary evolutions for the starter Pokemon don't get a lot of love. And there are 2 secondary evolutions that I like a lot, and that is Braxton and Ivysaur. Now I didn't want to include both of them because that would just be a little weird. So I chose Braxton out of the 2. Even though Fennekin wasn't my starter Pokemon for Pokemon X and Y, I just love Braxton's design. And I think it's a shame that she evolves into Delphox because Delphox isn't the best designed Pokemon in my opinion. I just love the flaming stick that she uses. And to be honest, I think this Pokemon has the most character out of all the Pokemon in Pokemon X and Y. And on top of that, I think she has an awesome type combination. Fire Psychic are just 2 awesome types. And for those reasons, I chose Braxton for number 4. For number 3, I chose Tyranitar. Okay, Tyranitar. When you've been calling it Tyranitar for 15 years, it's hard to change your habit. But I've always loved Tyranitar because of how hard he is to obtain. Now, he's not even available after the Johto region in Pokemon Crystal. You can either get him at the Game Corner in the Kanto region, or at Mount Silver. And on top of that, you have to train him 50 levels in order to evolve him. Now, I just love Pokemon who evolve at very late levels, because it makes it more satisfying when you finally evolve them. And also, I love his typing. He is the only Rock Dark Pokemon in the whole Pokemon known universe, which makes him even more unique. And Tyranitar is always on my Pokemon Dream Team, and maybe I'll make a video on that. Just let me know down in the comments. So for those reasons, I chose Tyranitar for number 3. For number 2, I chose Phantump. Now I have to admit, this Pokemon was originally my number 1 spot for this list, but I decided to change it last second. Now it's funny because I didn't even know Phantump existed until a whole year later after the release of Pokemon X and Y. I was just randomly browsing the internet and I came across a picture of Phantump and I was like, wait, is that a Pokemon? So I looked it up and wow, there it is. And I just automatically fell in love with it. A little ghost Pokemon inside of a tree trunk? I just think that's so unique and I love it. But the only thing I don't like about Phantump is that it evolves into a very ugly Pokemon. How can something go from so cute to so ugly in a matter of seconds? So for that very reason, I chose Phantump for number 2. And for my favorite Pokemon of all time is Golduck. That intro you saw wasn't just made up, it actually happened many times. Golduck was my best Pokemon for Pokemon Crystal. And if you haven't noticed already, Pokemon Crystal is my favorite Pokemon game of all time. I have so many good memories of playing it. But anyways, Golduck was my first level 100 Pokemon. And whenever I wanted to boost other Pokemon's levels, I would sweep the Elite Four with Golduck. And I think he's just a strong Pokemon. I mean, he can learn Ice Beam, Psychic, Surf. Those 3 moves are very strong, especially at the Elite Four. So for being my first level 100 Pokemon, and being probably my favorite water type Pokemon, I chose Golduck for my favorite Pokemon of all time. So, now you know. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like if you did. I spent a lot of time on this video. I didn't even sleep last night because I wanted to upload it today. So I appreciate it a ton. Also, be sure to subscribe if you're enjoying the channel. And if you want to follow me on Twitter for fan interactions, video updates, and other cool stuff, follow me at Ethan Dobbs. And for the question of the day, well, since you know my top 10 favorite Pokemon, I want to know what your top 10 favorite Pokemon are. Be sure to leave it down below in the comments. I can't wait to see what you guys have in mind. And I'll see y'all next time. See ya.